Yo, what's going on, guys? Trevor back again here to bring you another video. This video is going to be another answer video to Totally253. He asked basically, what are your interests? What do you like to do aside from MMA? What are your life goals, career goals, this kind of stuff? Just get a little bit, get to know me a little bit better. So this video, I'm going to title it, Who Am I? Basically, and I'm going to try to answer that question. So we'll start off with MMA, as he did mention that. So that's one of my prime interests, one of my major interests in my life. Ever since grade 6, I went to a movie rental store called Movie World, and I rented The Ultimate Fighting Championship. The idea of it was so intriguing to me. Get to see guys from different disciplines fight in a tournament to find out which martial art is superior. And Hoist Gracie and the first couple UFCs, just I rented those on VHS video, brought them home, watched them, loved them, went back and got everything, rented every one they had for the next couple months in that summer of grade 6 roughly. So ever since then, I've always been into MMA. I've loved it. I've always loved it. It's always been something that's interested me to get to see that kind of stuff. Nowadays it's become more of its own entity on itself, where you don't have different fighters from different disciplines facing off, and that you really just have mixed martial arts fighters now, which is fun too. I mean, it's all good. They all have their specialty. Like Machida's got the karate. GSP at one time had the karate. You've got wrestlers like Brock Lesnar. You've got K1 kickboxers like Overeem. It's just now they have to know pretty much everything and be well rounded. So MMA was always, something I've been always interested in my whole life. I always loved watching Pride. The UFC, after Pride fizzled out, the UFC I stopped watching for maybe a year or two. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I'm not as big of a fan of the UFC as I was of Pride. I really loved Pride. Maybe I'll do a video talking about just Pride, actually. But I love MMA in general. There's a lot of things about the UFC I don't like. I don't like the cage in general. I think that a ring, like a big ring, is just better to me. I know they chose the cage, and a lot of people like the cage now, but me personally, I like the ring better. So that's MMA, and I decided to create this channel and stuff. When I first started my channel, it was sort of half MMA, and then obviously, as you can see in the background here, I have a lot of action figures, comic book stuff like that. Just to give you a quick look around the room here, this is going to be ghetto because this is a web camera, but I've got like a Gotham City there that I made that I've shown in my first channel. This is sort of my room back here. This is also my office, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. This is where I work 40 hours a week. Well, actually 50 because my YouTube channel. And as you can see, I have tons of freaking figures and stuff, different kinds of stuff. And I got a TV there and a PlayStation. At the back there's like a bat cave. Up there I've got some like X-Men, different stuff. So that's my next big interest is collecting figures and comic books, movies, that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. I always have. And then of course the bins over there have got tons of stuff in them. Too much. I gotta sell it, but I don't have time, and it's not worth the time for me to sell it most of the time. So there's that. Comic books, MMA, figures. I also like to work out. I've mentioned this before. I did work out today. I usually try to get in some runs here and there, but I can never, when it comes to running, I can never like stick to it all the time. I usually end up, what happens is I'll run, it's sporadic, like 1 month I'll go for maybe like 6 kilometer, or I guess if you're in the States, like 4-mile runs, and I'll do that for like once a week or every couple weeks for a couple months, and then I'll stop doing it, and then I'll start doing it again. Right now it's the wintertime here, so there's quite a bit of snow outside, so I haven't been running this winter. I'll probably start up again pretty soon, next couple weeks, and but I have my own bench press in the basement. I can't show you because I don't have a hand camera right now. My fiance has it, so I'll have to get that back from her, and maybe one day I'll show off my weight set. Basically, I have a bench with about 320 pounds free weight that I can stuff onto it, and I have free weight bench. I have a couple dumbbells. I have an incline bench. I have a heavy bag, which is down right now, 100-pound heavy bag. I've got all kinds of gear. I've got gloves for the bag, and all that kind of stuff. And I can do quite a few workouts with it, with all my stuff. Pretty much everything. I haven't had a gym membership for a couple years, just because I have that stuff, and I just run outside usually for cardio. So I don't really go to the gym. The thing with the gym is that I'd like to, but I can't justify the cost. You know, gym memberships, like they want like $60, $70 these days. I can't I can't justify. It's too much money for me. So that's why I do that, and I go running instead. So that's my thing. So for that, as far as figures goes, I've been into comic books and figures my whole life, but I stopped collecting for about stopped buying figures for about maybe 6 or 7 years when I was actually was it that long? Maybe about yeah, about 5 years or so when I was in college and when I was in high school, because obviously it's not a quote unquote socially popular thing to do. And now I just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I don't care if people like it or not. You know what I mean? People say stuff. Sometimes I got comments on my channel, my MMA videos, and like one guy I think a couple weeks ago said, "Nice Barbies," and I said, "Thanks, troll." I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like that's all there is to it. Like this is what I like to do. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's lots of things that other people like to do that isn't within the social norm. I mean, you got guys like Justin Bieber being like the most successful musician right now with, I mean, the amount of hits that guy gets in his freaking YouTube channel is ridiculous. And people listen to his music, and like, people have all kinds of guilty pleasures, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that's just one example. But, it's something I don't really care too much about. I also like to play video games a little bit. I do have a PlayStation 3. I have a gaming machine that's about 5 years old that I can play some games on. Right now I have installed Heroes of New Earth, which is a strategy game, sort of like Dota, if anyone's ever played that, and Warcraft 3. That's it. And I play those a couple hours a week. And then, of course, I do videos. What I do is usually, in about 40 hours a week I work. Well, I do work 40 hours every week unless I get vacation time or whatever, as a computer technician. And then I put about 5 to 10 hours a week into my YouTube channel. Right now, my goal for YouTube is to do about 5 videos a week on average. This week I've done about 12 videos. So, that's kind of like, it's not a New Year's resolution per se, but that's just kind of what I want to do with my channel and that kind of stuff. And I guess as far as my interest goes, that's pretty much it. I mean, I love to hang out with my girlfriend too, my fiance Jess. You can check out her channel. It's in my channel. You can go there and you can check that out. Aside from that, pretty much, that's pretty much it for my interests. You know what I mean? Generally, I mean, there's really nothing else. Yeah, that pretty much makes up all my interests. That's pretty much it. Hanging out with friends, stuff like that. And then career-wise and life goals and this kind of stuff. So I went to school to work in computers for 6 years. It was a long time. I went to a college for 3 years for computer networking. And then I went to a university for 3 years for computer science. Got my bachelor's of computer science. Never really struggled too much in school. While I was doing my university in computer science, I was working full time. So I did that, at nights and that kind of stuff. It took me 3 years to do that while I was working full time. Like I said, I'm working 5 years as a computer tech. I work here. This is my office. And I'm a remote desktop technician, senior technician for all of Canada for a company. I'm not going to tell you which company because that's private. But and I pretty much what I do now is I do a lot of administrative work. I do billing and things like that, monitoring other technicians' work, stuff like that. And I also do some work myself too, fixing clients' computers. So that's as far as what I do career-wise. As far as goal-wise, now, my sort of like since finishing university and that kind of stuff with the rest of my life, I haven't planned out goal-wise what I want to do, but I used to want to be a network administrator for a company and work as a network administrator, and then I actually got one of those jobs and tried it. And I realized I don't want to do that anymore because it's just like, even if it's a little bit more money and it's not like that much more, I would be on call. I'd have to, like, if I got a call at 3 a.m. in the morning and I have to drive like an hour away, I would have to do that. 7 days a week on call all the time. If system goes down or anything happens, I would have to get up and go regardless of what's going on in my life. And it'd just be like, technically it'd be very complicated of a job to do. So I decided against that. And I'm going to say that my YouTube channel is my, long-term career goal. Like, my goal is not to do YouTube full-time. That's not my goal. it's, you know, really what I want to do is right now is I'm going to keep working at my job 40 hours a week, and then also I'm going to be doing YouTube in addition to that, and that's enough work for me. 50 hours a week is pretty much enough for me, the way I look at it. So that's pretty much that. My goals for YouTube, pretty much like I said, 5 videos a week, every week, to try and, you know what I mean, make as much content as I can. Most of that is going to be MMA, and The Walking Dead will be coming back soon. Figure videos, I don't do many figure videos because nobody watches them. Like, almost nobody watches them, and it's oversaturated. Like, there's so many guys doing reviews and stuff, or guys that already have done reviews, and the figures that I collect like Marvel, DC, comic book figures. The audience isn't big enough. If I collected Transformer figures, then it'd be worth it to do reviews because there's so many guys who collect Transformers. They get millions of views, whereas Marvel, DC, comic stuff gets next to no views. Like I've done figure review videos. I think I did one last week for a figure that almost nobody else has reviewed, and it got like 300 views or something like that. And I was like, you know, it took me like 20 minutes to do the video. Not worth my time, man. You know, unless I enjoy doing it and I just feel like I want to do it because it's fun. You know, a lot of times it's not worth it compared to MMA. Like I have a Fedor video I did a couple years ago that's got like 400 and some odd thousand views. So that those type of videos are definitely more worth it for me to do than figure videos. So other than that, you know, I'm not trying to do YouTube full-time or as a career. That's not like my career goal. My career goal was always to work in computers, but I got tired of just being an employee and just doing my, you know, job just, you know, all the time, and having really no opportunity for advancement. I mean, there's some, but it's so small, you know what I mean? Like, even if they give you like 5%, you know what I mean, increase, stuff like this, 3%, 4% increase yearly, annually, is what most people get. And it's not bad, but, you know, I just like, with YouTube, YouTube gives me the opportunity to, any extra energy I have, I can use that to put into my channel and, you know what I mean, do better that way. So it gives me that extra, you know, ability. And also, too, I'm not a big fan of being an employee anymore. You know, I'm going to keep doing it. Obviously, we all have to be employees, you know, at some point or another. And I'll always probably be one. But I don't really, like, my goals in terms of my job and stuff, you know, YouTube and my job, the combination of both is kind of, you know, what I'm looking to do for the long term. Maybe in the next 5, 10 years, as long as nothing happens to my channel, I'm probably going to be doing YouTube videos, like I said, a few videos a week, as many as I can fit in. And I'll probably keep doing that maybe 10 years, 20 years. I really don't know at this point. But that's probably, that's kind of what I want to do. I take a lot of pride in what I do, you know, with this channel and with my online YouTube channels. And it's definitely not something I'm going to be stepping away from anytime soon. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Who am I? That's pretty much who I am. That's what I'm about. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. Any other questions you guys have, please let me know. You know, any video ideas, let me know. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Later, guys. Peace.